Hello everyone, this is the next in the line of the collaborative Transformer figure reviews I'm doing, and this is Ectotron, and this is, technically speaking, I think the third release of this figure, so we're gonna discuss a problem. So, first of all, there's his instructions. All nice and a bit colourful, you know, tells you how to put the backpack and everything together, etc, etc. I do have some extra little Ghostbustery things on here for review purposes, but let's have a look at that box. So they've done the same thing they did with Gigawatts box, and they're homaging the older style Transformers packaging, even with the old Hasbro logo. And just to show you what I mean, there's a official but replica re-release of a Optimus Prime box. And I think, yeah, so Ectotron has the normal Transformer sort of back, whereas Gigawatt had more Back to the Future junk on it. So there's the bottom, and you can see there come on. There's a little Slimer that comes with them. What's going on? Clear up. And I had to tape that together because it fell apart. We've seen the back already. And there's those definitely not 4 steps to transform him. The cool collaboration logo. So yeah, you see 2024. Pretty sure the original mold of this came out in 2019. So there's something we have to talk about. But for now, let's zoom in. And here is Ectotron. Sorry, Peter. And his... Okay. Here... Oh! Doing this in one take is annoying sometimes, because I don't want to re-record 2 minutes of video, just because I'm messing things up. But anyway, here is Ectotron and his friend Slimer. So we'll have a quick look at the Slimer first. This is just... There he is. Really well molded, but you can't see it because there is no paint. But he's just a squishy little guy. And he can be mounted on Ectotron in vehicle mode through his butthole. Oh, come on, we need a clear shot of that. There we go. So here's Slimer compared to another Ghostbusters ghost toy I had. Don't know what's going on with the zoom here. Anyway, so this is a cool remake of an older toy as well. Anyway, there's him next to a Peter Venkman, and we also have a gigantic Mr. Stay Puft. And I think I got these figures from the Ghostbusters Afterlife line. What I wanted Peter here for was to compare the uniforms. So you can see that with Ectotron, we have his lovely browny grey shirt, and even his Ectotron name badge. A very cool head mold with those goggles, like I think Ray has goggles. A molded front that you're going to see more of in vehicle mode. And all of this brown is going to be hidden when we get to vehicle mode. And you can also see that we have his backpack. The hell are the backpacks called? Genuinely, I don't remember what the backpack's called. We've discussed this before, that I get into Proton Pack. It's a Proton Pack. Here's a Proton Pack. It's the same thing that always happens, is that I get into the video and I forget names of things. But anyway, they've both got Proton Packs. You can see a comparison there. They're almost the same size. Considering Ectotron is a giant vehicle, that's pretty funny. And we'll just have Peter hold his like that. just for comparison, because that is how I like Ectotron to best hold his. And there's your issue. So I think they might have to remake this mold or retire it, because these legs are now completely floppy and barely anything connects in properly, which is a big, big problem. I shouldn't have an issue posing it and putting it up on the shelves that I use, because it'll lean against something, but from the bottom, from the waist down, everything is just too floppy now. So the big thing I'll say about this before we go forward is this is a great toy. Absolutely fantastic. Painted good, looks great, molded great, great idea. Very faithful to the original Ecto 1. But you need to try and get yourself either the first or the second mold, which is the Afterlife version. It's got rust and stuff on it. Because this third mold from 2024, and you can tell the difference because of the collaborative logo. The 2024 version, the mold is degraded far too much. They're going to have to remake the thing. And unfortunately, that just popped out. So that's the biggest problem. Or really the only problem is the legs are all just almost useless now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pop off the proton pack. And now you can actually have him hold the proton wand like that, but I prefer it the other way because it looks more like the way the Ghostbusters originally kind of did it. So you can see he's about to fall over there because that leg doesn't want to connect in properly. Doesn't have any sort of proper hold. Anyway, here's the wand. You can see all that's nicely molded. No paint, but it's not a big deal. I don't think the wands were that bright in the actual movies anyway. And now that's supposed to be plugged in under here for this mode, if I can get it in there. I get a bit of the shakes when I'm filming. And there's the hose that plugs into the back of the wand, but it's not a very good connection anymore. And I suspect they've changed from the original just blue rubber to now the translucent rubber that slime is made out of with paint on it, and I think that's made a difference to all the tolerances, unfortunately. But that's the backpack, and this has got a very good place to go on the roof, so we'll actually just transform it now. So we'll unplug that like before and just leave that aside, and that can stay aside for the moment. We grab this, we fold it all the way around, and that other bit pops up and it tabs into the bottom there. And then we push that up. And that's that all sorted. Well, sorta. We can then put the wand into that slot there. Because this is... Oh, hang on. We do need to do one thing before we put that wand on. So see the little tab on the blue hose? There is a slot there. So that tab, before we put the wand on, we even need to just move that a bit, needs to tab all the way, not doing it in the right spot, needs to tab all the way into there. We'll shut that back up, and then we put the wand back on, and that's all ready to go on the roof of the Ecto 1 when we get there. So, transforming him. Pull these out. Pop both those sections up. Fold in his hands. And then push them up into the cavity at the front. Now, there's a bit of this mold that's like one of the, or two of the Combiner Wars figures. Hotspot and... Oh, the Combaticon leader, I can't remember his name right now. In as much as you can see how the chest goes down here and the head goes in, it's almost identical. Okay, so we can now, twist those up, bring that one up, twist that up, bring that up, and tab that all together, like that. Beautifully done. Now, for these, we need to go around the back first and push these heels in. Open these all the way up. Clip the legs together. And then fold all the way in there. And then at the top, while doing that, we need to clip those in. Then we can come back here, close those back up, and they do hold fine in the vehicle mode. And then the toesies go up as well. Now, the last thing we do is we pull these down, and the other one. And without the backpack on, that is now our Ecto-1. And this thing is so cool. So you can see we've got the very cool Ghostbusters logo. So on the Afterlife version, as well as Rust, that's kind of cracked up and old looking. You can see all of that, the light bars on top. And those plugs there are going to plug into the bottom of this in a moment to show you how that looks. There's the front of the car with the Ecto-1 number plate. Oh, very cool. So for this, what we need to do... clear up. Come on, focus. Is we need to put... Actually, we're going to take this off for the moment. It'll make it a bit easier. So we need to push all of that under there. All of that rubber stuff, if you can see what I'm doing there. Until we can tab... Oh, is it going in? There we go. We can tab that into the top. And that's how it sticks in there. So then we need to tab all of these rubber bits in. Tab that one. And... Oop, doing it off camera. That one. And that one. That's all those tabbed in. Come around here, bring this ladder up. And you can see there's a slot there. And a tab on that rubbery ladder. Tabs in like that. And then finally, this little copper one goes into that hole at the front. Like that. And that's not a very tight connection, but it'll stay there. And then we can go back to here and put the wand back on the top. And that is the fully complete Ecto-1. And this thing's gorgeous. And this is one of the earliest designs they did, even though this mold is, or this reissue of this mold is degrading really bad. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And that last thing we said about Slimer's little butthole. You can see this part on the top of the wand. Come on, focus. Top of the wand. There we go. Just put his little butthole on that. And he can display like that. And that's too far down. Oh, camera's going to be a dick. Well, there we go. And that is our Ecto-1, known as Ectotron. And I suppose we can put a quick comparison next to him. There he is next to one of the most recent crossover figures, Bone Shaker. Forgot his name for a second there too. There you go, Mr. Venkman. Dr. Venkman. Put back in. Let's make him happy before we go. Ta-da! So please don't forget to like and subscribe. We have Party Wallop, the Ninja Turtles party wagon to do next. And hopefully next week, thinking about getting the Agent Knight, the Knight Rider collaborative transformer. So yeah, like I said, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and if this is content you like, come back and watch. Hope you're all having a good day. Bye.